Good evening and welcome to Dave Harding P.I, the show that's all about political incorrectness. And not as some of the crew members here think that I'm wearing pyjamas. These are not my pyjamas, it's an actual shirt. Not that I care anyway. Now, coming up this week, we're going to talk about the Barmy Army and Christmas festivals because office Christmas parties or work Christmas parties are apparently being toned down because of political correctness. And we're going to look at British Airways as well, where they've banned a staff member from wearing a little bit of jewellery known as a crucifix. Finishing up, there's a nice little arresting story about a couple of mates who were just sort of driving along, had a bit of a prank. Turns out it wasn't quite a prank and they've been charged on a couple of offences. But first up, the Barmy Army. Now, the Barmy Army just, really know how to rev up the cricket team, and in particular, the bugle player. This guy can get the dudes rolling like no one else, but he's not allowed to play his bugle up at the Gabba, is he? And he was thrown out for doing so. Now, it's obviously affected the cricket team's performance based on the result, if you know what I mean. But also, a couple of Australians got thrown out as well for trying to start the Mexican wave. Now, hang on a second. Cricket's a pretty boring game to begin with. And if you're going to be there for 5 days, you're going to need to entertain yourself, aren't you? So if they're going to be throwing out people for providing a bit of entertainment, how boring is it going to be sitting there watching the grass grow? Or people play cricket, whatever. Anyway, we hit the streets in St Kilda, went down to Acland Street and found out what people thought about the Barmy Army and the 2 Australian dudes being thrown out. And here's what we found.
It's crazy. You should be allowed to have a bit of fun at a sports game. It's not.
Yeah, they should. And did you hear about the Mexican wave as well?
That's even worse. I mean, it's a sport. You're there to enjoy the day.
Well, the general consensus once again seems to be, yes, they've gone overboard. Hey, no surprises there whatsoever. The one thing that did surprise me, though, was the fact that someone mentioned that the reason why the 2 dudes were thrown out for the Mexican wave is apparently they had some cups in their hand with a Mexican wave with a bit of urine in it. So, yeah, that's really, well, it is funny, but it's not funny. Oh, okay, it is funny if you're not the one having it thrown on you. And it's not funny if you are the one having it thrown on you. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough of that. We've got another story. Whoa! Thought you were going to start without me. Hang on a moment. This is our What Do You Reckon segment, which is available online through www.davehardingpi.com. Now, from there, we actually link this segment through to YouTube, and you can upload your own video comments if you want, if you're a member, or you can actually post your own comments on if you've got more things to say. So it's actually turning out to be quite successful. We've had quite a few people make comments on some of the previous episodes of things that we've run. And tonight's issue is the British Airways staff member who was banned from wearing a crucifix on the outside of a uniform. She's been told she's allowed to wear it on the inside of a uniform, just not on the outside. And it's a violation of their policy and all that sort of thing, whatever. And it sort of begs the question, well, when you're designing a uniform policy, you don't normally design it with religious themes in mind. So, what will this look like with a crucifix on it or not? But by the same token, you also don't design it for turbans and veils and all sorts of things that sort of go with uniforms. Now, they've openly said that it's okay to wear those other religious symbols because they're actually part of the whole religious movement type thing and you need to wear them and so on, whereas a crucifix is an optional jewellery item. So this lady's actually taking it a lot further. She's actually challenged the decision and they've come back and said, no, we're standing by a decision. If you want to wear it, you wear it on the inside of the uniform, not on the outside. Well, look, I thought this would really warrant finding out what other people thought about it because it's really pretty much a strong sort of opinionated type of thing. So again, in Acland Street, St Kilda, we asked people what they thought about wearing a crucifix as part of a uniform. And here's what we found out. I have to say, this is one of the more interesting ones that we've actually taken to the streets because as soon as I mentioned that it was a crucifix, people's automatic response was to go, oh, this is all about religion. Let me just clear this up. It is not about religion. It was about a violation of their uniform policy and in particular, their jewellery policy. Anyway, we're heading off to a break now and coming up after the break, we're going to be talking about arresting behaviour. Freeze, dirtbag! Have you ever played cops and robbers? Has it ever gone too far? Have you ever gone, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now? Boom! Well, it's happened to a couple of dudes. Picture this, couple of mates driving along in a car, just having a good old time. One of them puts a plastic gun to his mate's head while he's driving, and another motorist has seen it and gone, ooh, get on the telephone, ring the coppers, get this guy into a bit of trouble, because it actually, for all intents and purposes, looked really serious. Well, as it's turned out, these guys have actually been charged on a range of different offences, 3 altogether. Most of them firearm related. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be interesting to head down to St Kilda and see who could make my day on some of the interesting stories that they've heard from arresting behaviour. Anyway, here's what we found. Well, now you've heard of mockumentaries, and that's mocking a documentary. Well, this is mocking a pranking. Is that a manking? I don't know. Whoa, jeez. Get out of here, you guys. It's no wonder the law's bloody going out of control and stupid things going on and all that sort of stuff. Even things like that happen in the studios. Still managed to keep the clipboard, though. Anyway, yeah, general consensus again is, you know, pranks are pranks, but they can go too far. And I've got to say, in this particular circumstances, if I saw someone with a gun to his head, I think I'd be pretty concerned as well. So, yeah, I think that really sort of does go over that borderline. Anyway, it's time to wrap up the show, and it's actually time to wrap up the series. This is the final show for this series. And I have to just put out a massive thank you to everyone that's been involved with the show. The contribution from everyone has been nothing short of fantastic to help in putting this whole production together. So, guys, all I can say is thank you so much for the effort that you put in. It is just so warmly appreciated. Thank you so much. Anyway, I'm Dave Harding. I'm going to stay politically incorrect for as long as I can and as often as I can, and I hope that you do the same thing as well. It's been an absolute pleasure, and see you soon.